Hello there, my name is Andrew Druckmann, and I'd like to welcome you to the channel because, after all, the reason why you clicked on that link is because you want to learn how to get leads for landscaping for beginners. Well, guess what? You just came to the right place because that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Now, if you haven't done so already yet, consider subscribing to Traffic Magic because that is what we do. We talk about different tips and strategies to help you get more people to the front door of your business every single day. Because after all, if you have nobody at the front door of your business, you have no business because that is the bloodline to your business. And and also something to keep in mind, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to give you free training so that this way you can learn how to drive hundreds of people to the front door of your business every single day. Now, without further ado, let's get into the action. So, my very first tip I'm going to share with you in order to learn how to get leads for your landscaping business for beginners is create a strong social media presence. Now, why is this even important to begin with? Well, I'm going to gladly answer that for you right now. So, what it is you have to understand about this is that we are way past the day and age where people are flipping through the yellow pages or reading news articles when it comes to finding a business to help solve their problems, because those days are done. Those days have been done for the longest time, or at least at this present time. Why? Because everybody and their mama and their mama's mama, they moved over to the internet. Everybody is social. They're on social media. So I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I personally think if you are not taking advantage of social media, I think you're going to be doing yourself a total disservice and be leaving a lot of money on the table. That's the very first thing. Second thing is figure out exactly what your niche is going to be. Now, once you figure out exactly what your niche is going to be, that's going to give you a better idea exactly who your target audience is going to be. And so this way you can figure out exactly who it is that you're going to target. Are you going to be targeting small homes or small properties? Maybe you might not necessarily charge them as much, or compared to some like another property, you might be charging a little bit more if it's like a bigger property, and also depending on how detailed the work is going to be. So these are kind of some of the things to kind of keep in mind. Exactly, once you figure out exactly who your target audience is going to be, it puts you in a better position so this way you can actually service them properly. Next, go ahead and create an account around your niche and whatever your niche is going to be. In this particular case, we're going to go ahead and be looking up some landscaping businesses that I think are going to be some good examples to model after, because if you get anything out of this video more than anything else, it's always a good idea to model after people that are successful, or at least they look like that they are successful. Why? Because it makes sense. Because if you see someone's doing something that's working, then by all means do what they did. Don't do exactly what they did, but modeling after them and seeing exactly what they did, and you're kind of seeing how they're leading by example. So I really hope that makes sense. So let's go ahead and click on the search bar. We're going to go ahead and put in landscaping. So this right here, I'm going to tell you right now, I personally think this is a great example of some beautiful content that's being posted. Right? It says, if you're looking for a landscaper, call this number. I mean, and this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. It doesn't, because here's the thing. The content that you post on social media, that I'm going to tell you whether it being, I mean, obviously today's example is going to be Facebook, but you could do it on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. It doesn't really matter which social media platform you use. It really doesn't so much. I'm going to tell you personally, just understand the limitations of whatever social media platform that you use and understand how it works, and do your research on that, just like anything else. But the point is, you want to make sure that you are posting content like this every single day. At least every other day, but really every single day. And content where you're showing off your work and you're showing that you're the go-to person to show them that if they want good quality work, that you're the person to go to. And you're also going to be doing some other things along with this content. You're not just going to post content on social media, but but we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But just for this, let's go ahead and click on this. See, it's just really simple, beautiful content. Anybody can do this. It's not complicated by any means. And I personally think I like this. I think this is very attractive. That's just my personal opinion. So, let's say that I want to have this guy do some landscaping for me, right? I'm gonna go ahead and click on his name. Look at the cover. Like this is beautiful. This to me is just it's a beautiful cover. And definitely looks like to me, from what I can see, this young man obviously takes his work seriously. He's into physical fitness, which is always a good thing, considering exactly what it is that he does. But yeah, overall, like this guy, he definitely looks like he does constantly post content, and he looks like he takes his work very seriously. The other thing I do want to talk about, though, when it comes to this, also make sure when you're going into, of course, in today's example is going to be Facebook, make sure, like in this example, and you obviously are going to want to do this on other platforms, whatever you work. But in this example, obviously, you want to make sure you are figuring out exactly which areas that you're going to be targeting. Meaning, like if whatever local areas that you're targeting around the area wherever you live at, obviously you're probably going to want to go somewhere that's as close as possible, where it might be 10, 15 minutes away. You don't want to drive like an hour away, obviously. But what the thing about it is that you want to make sure you get into these Facebook groups, some of these Facebook groups where you're in that target area that's around your local area where you're servicing at. Make sure you're also posting content in there every single day, and that you're engaging with your audience. And one of the things I think, if I remember right, he said is, if you, in the beginning of this, there was one last thing he pointed out. I meant to post this. And someone will be out there 24 hours. Yeah, to give you a free in-person estimate. This is the last thing I want to talk about on this part, is any time that you incentivize anything for free, whether it being a free estimate or say like, hey, this is going to be your first time purchase. Say if it normally costs, say, just a silly example, say it might cost $400, but you know what? Seeing as how you're going to be you're using my services for the very first time, I'll give you, say, like a 10% discount, just because it'll be like a first time customer type deal, first time client, first time lead. People like that. People like getting free stuff. You throwing in, even if they know it's free, just throwing in the word free, like, oh, we're going to get free estimates. We know exactly how much it's going to cost, or we might get the services for a little bit cheaper for a first time. That's fantastic. I will personally tell you, it's always a good idea to sacrifice a little bit of revenue. You don't have to sacrifice a whole lot. Obviously, you don't. Obviously, you have to kind of use your discretion at that. But sometimes, whether giving something for free or sacrificing a little bit of revenue just to get more customers in the door, I personally think is very much worth it. So that's also something to keep in mind. And now, think about this. Once you got all this free content on your social media, you're going to do other things with this free content that you post on, in this example, for Facebook, or you post in other local groups, and you're engaging with these audience. You take that content, and then you go over here on mightysites.com. Excuse me. You take that content, you go to mightysites.com, and you create a website here on mightysites.com. It's beginner friendly. It's really easy to use. They even have tutorials on how to build a website. And if you want to start on your free trial today and start today, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. It's $9 a month. I personally think it is very affordable, and that's also, and keep in mind, this is where you want to post that content here as well. And also try to encourage people to leave reviews for you. Obviously you can't ask them to leave positive reviews. Obviously you kind of hope that they're going to leave positive reviews, but if they, when they leave positive reviews, also post that on on your website. When you build out the website, make sure you have your contact information. Make sure you're showing the work off of what you're doing. And one of the things I love about positive reviews, those are what I like to call trust builders. They kind of like work for you. If that kind of like makes any sense. Think about it. You get a positive review and someone looks at that and say, wow, that looks like that they really did good work, that someone is edifying you and they're saying that you're doing really good work. That's getting you more leads on top of whatever leads that you're already working for as it is. So, that's why it's always a good idea to always encourage people to leave positive reviews. And last but not least, and this is one of the things I notice that a lot of people like to sleep on, I don't know why, but creating a business profile on Google My Business. Why? Because honestly, one of the other things that people do like to do is whenever they want to look up other people's services, they like to Google it. So if you post a Google business profile here, right? You post a Google business profile. Keep in mind that all you really got to do is you just got to fill out the prompts. You put your website here. You also want to put your reviews on your Google business profile, because honestly, the more good positive reviews that you put on here, that's going to help to increase your ranking. So this way, when someone wants to look up say landscaping, for example, your business is going to be more than likely the first one that's going to pop up. Now, I really hope that you got some value out of this video today. I hope you did. If you did, drop a like for me. I would really appreciate that. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I always want to know what you got to say. And also, remember, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to give you free training so that this way you can learn how to get hundreds of people to the front door of your business every single day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.